Hello everyone, this is Laco S, and welcome to another video where I explore 3.19 on the PTU. Today we're going to be actually trying out for the first time the tutorial. Star Citizen recently made a push for the new player experience, and they did a tutorial quite a while back, back even in the, gosh, I would say like over 5 years ago, probably even longer than that, where they actually had like an in-game tutorial for flying your ship. But unfortunately, that kind of went by the wayside, and they had to get rid of it because they kept on changing the game so much, and it was for the better. But now that the game seems to be more stable, and some of the longer-term aspects of the game are starting to be finished, they're pushing now. They're now starting to actually have a new game experience, or hopefully not too much of the basics will change from here on out. I'm kind of hoping for that personally, because that means that they're actually starting to get more of the core game developed, and that's something that kind of needs to happen, and they need to start finalizing things so we can actually have a game release. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and play the tutorial. So, estimated duration 30 minutes. I've been a backer since before the Gladius was in-game, so I should hopefully be able to do this in roughly half the time. We shall see. So, playing the tutorial, like it said on that message, by the way, if you guys didn't get a chance to read it fully, basically it's a tutorial, but if you do the option to play the tutorial, it'll force you to spawn in Area 18, and I won't have access to any of my ships that where I would otherwise have access to until I finish the tutorial. So, Area 18, enter Star Citizen Universe, let's go. So hopefully this does help new players. I know there's a lot of other YouTubers out there, like the Board Gamers and the like, who post a whole bunch of tutorials for the game, but having an in-game tutorial, you can't beat that. But me and some other YouTubers will definitely post other things for tutorials that won't be covered in game, plus tips and hints and like other ways to help new people out figure out the game, as well as sort out different and various things. Tutorial, your first steps. Exit bed. A challenge that even I admit I face on a daily basis. So, real life, tutorial, exit bed. Alright, so, that's simple enough. You just press any of the movement keys. Looks like someone's already been here with these water bottles. Your first steps, and you just move around, I guess. Journal entry added. Welcome to the verse. Let's accept that journal entry. Check your journal. So, we know if our journal, we would press F1, and then we would move down to the Contract Manager app, but it brought us up for us. So, tutorial, welcome to the verse. Welcome to Star Citizen. You've just stepped... Oh, this is cool! I like how they actually give a little bit of lore to explain what's going on. So, welcome to Star Citizen. You have just stepped 930 years into a future where humanity has spread across the stars under the rule of the United Empire of Earth, the UEE. While many humans spend their lives never leaving their homeworld, there are those who choose to travel aboard advanced starships, braving outlaws, hostile aliens, and hazardous conditions to seek their fortune. Currently, you are in Area 18 on ArcCorp, the third planet in the Stanton system, a great distance from humanity's origins in the Sol system. And this is indeed true. We were on the complete opposite end of the human empire. It's going to be a long time before we get to the Sol system. So, the 4 planets in this system are owned by megacorporations who are each purchased a planet from the UEE and now govern their own region of space. They are Hurston Dynamics, which is Hurston, Crusader Industries, which is Crusader, ArcCorp, and Microtech. To note, a little bit of in-lore stuff, this is most of the other planets and systems in-game are not owned by mega corporations, but there actually is, throughout Star Citizen's history, the in-game, in-lore history, this is not something that's new. There have been plenty of times where mega corporations have bought out like whole systems and whole planets just to mine them, so... Yeah, not only is it the, like how Star Citizen has, like, yeah, it's in the future, it's spacefaring space opera, but it's also very much cyberpunk. It's a very nice combination of the two. So, going to the last paragraph. Area 18 is the main commercial zone of the megacity that sprawls across the surface of ArcCorp. From here, the tutorial will guide you to Bonji Point, the space station in orbit above the planet that can serve as your gateway to further exploration of the Stanton system. And last thing I will note here is every single one of the in-game landing zones has a orbital station above it, and a lot of players just stay at the orbital station. They never go down to the planet side because of like it takes a while with the transit system, and in general, just a lot of this orbital stations is a lot easier to get out, get to your ship, and get going. And plus, they have most of the shops there anyways that you'll need. So a lot of people don't visit the landing zones. I'm kind of a space tourist, so I love doing that. Let's get out of here. Tutorials, your first steps, eat water, eat food, drink water. Now, okay, yeah, we are at, so the game puts us at 50% food and water, so we are going to drink and eat. Quick thing I want to check out with my character, F4. Okay, good. One thing the tutorial probably doesn't point out that it should is that you cannot eat or drink with your helmet on. Sounds obvious, but it's something that you actually do have to check. And by the way, this is interesting. For the tutorial, they actually give you armor. This is not your base setup when you start the game for the first time. It is something that they've actually given us, which is nice. So let's drink water. I didn't drink the water yet. There we go. Bring hydration up. And just like in real life, you will get thirstier faster than you will get hungry. Let's break out chat so we don't have that annoying us. Alright, leave the hab. Oh, there are journal entries, I guess, explaining all this stuff, but we're just testing out the mechanics. So leaving the hab, you literally go to these door panels, click it, and it opens. Some doors are automatic, most aren't. So we have left the hab, now we're going to go to the elevator. And it is currently daytime on ArcCorp, so that's cool. If this is your first time seeing Star Citizen, you'll actually be able to see Area 18 in the daylight. As we fight with the Bane of Star Citizen, elevators, and ground floor. Survey says... Okay, sometimes with elevators you have to click the door button to open up the door. Sometimes it's smart enough to know it's automatic. Next objective, view the map. So I'm in front of the map, and I'm looking at the map. So this is actually new for ArcCorp right here. The map is literally brand new to this. Not generally, I will say that the map and the wayfinding in a lot of the landing zones are pretty good, but they're especially good now at ArcCorp. The maps and like all the signage is really good now, as compared to before, where it was good, but it wasn't quite that detailed. Alright, you have all these fun guns. Good old Cubby Blast. Your first purchase. Now here's where things get interesting. We want to probably buy a personal weapon. So a personal weapon. Let's buy this. Come on. There we go. Alright. Now, when you do buy a gun, it comes with like only one mag in the gun, so you'll definitely want to make sure you can pick up some extra mags. So we're going to go to Alright. So we own the guns. See if they talk about equipping them. If they don't talk about equipping them, then I will. So we're not going to Bevik, we're going to Riker Memorial Space Station, which is where we're supposed to be going if we're trying to get to Bonji Point.
Strong winds can arise suddenly.
Alright, now this isn't easy. The next objective is to exit at Riker. So it'll be a little while. There are these timers up here on the tram, and every single mass transit option in Star Citizen has this, where it'll tell you, it'll give you a timer for how long doors are going to be open for, when's your next shuttle going to be here, and how long it's going to take you to get to your next objective, as well as what those not next objective, how long is it going to take you to get to your next stop. Plus, it tells you what the next stop is. So always look. They're generally on like up. You have to like usually when you enter your train car or your bus or whatever, go in and look up. Usually they're there. And there's Riker Memorial Space Port right up ahead. Since I didn't. So there's our other tutorials there. So you actually do have a set of tutorials in the journal, and journals journal is separate from the mission tab. So you'll have to look up. You'll have to find the actual journal tab, bring it up, and all that information will be there. Tutorial: your first flight. Locate a fleet manager terminal. Oh, real quick, if you ever get a fine in the Star Citizen universe, use one of these for fines. Use one of these UEE terminals, and you'll be able to actually pay off your fines here. It is extremely important that when you do have a fine and you walk by a terminal and you know you have a fine, pay it off then and there. If you wait too, they do give you a relatively generous amount of time to pay off your fines, but if you do not pay them off and you log off, for instance, you're going to have problems because the fine will just keep on increasing in value, and you might end up having to pay quite a lot to pay off the fine, or your jail sentence might go through the roof.
Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
So it's giving us an Anvil C8 Pisces for our first ship. So we want to request delivery. So requesting the ship. It's 20 seconds to get your ship delivered. And then after your 20 seconds, you can actually spawn it in. This was done to help the servers out. Because they were having problems with the servers and being unable to process people who have quite a large number of ships actually spawn in all the ships at a time, and there were some issues with that, so they implemented that delivery feature relatively recently. So Hangar 6, and the good news is if you pull out immediately after you try to spawn your ship, or you even pull out before the ship actually gives you the hangar number, you'll have an AR marker telling you what hangar it is, so you can go over here to an elevator.
From transforming worlds to exploring the stars.
Go to hangar 06.
Proud to bring the universe closer together.
And bingo. Okay, so it's doing that thing with the doors again. There we go. Thankfully, that button is there to open up the doors. Here's our Anvil E8 Pisces. It's a relatively nice small ship. I'm glad they gave it to us for our first tutorial. So board the ship. It's quite simple. We go here. And there we go. Oh, and before we actually get into the pilot's chair, we should probably seal the door up and enter the pilot seat. Flight ready. All right, things up and running.
All systems online.
Contact the air traffic control, and hopefully the doors will open up above us, and they do now. Sometimes that doesn't work, and you have to use Alt-N to request landing clearance, or basically contact the air traffic control, and that will actually automatically open up the doors, and it's a bit more reliable. Alright, doors are opened wide enough up so now we can exit. Do be careful if you are in a much larger ship than this. You definitely want to make sure the doors up there are fully open. Otherwise, you will go straight into them at full speed, and bad things happen when you do that. So let's see here. We want to go through the gates. So there's a checkpoint there. Just my keyboard. Older keyboard sometimes gets stuck like that. Alright, we're flying to that checkpoint. Stable speed. We're going to increase it now. Now that we're going in a straight line. Through the cloud cover and the rain. Pull back on the stick a little bit. You definitely want to. This is the one disadvantage to like going this fast in Star Citizen, is that whenever you try to, whenever you need to turn, you will turn way more. Your turns will be way more sluggish because you're trying to encounter the inertia of flying so fast in a straight line. And obviously, if you're flying your own spacecraft, there are no waypoints to follow out of an area. You just kind of pick a direct. You just basically point your spacecraft straight up and burn. No Kerbal Space Program like mechanics where you have to do a gravity assist turn or anything like that. Just a straight, very simple, burn straight up, and once you're in space, you can quantum around. Okay, we don't need to boost. Okay. Okay, pilot the ship out of the hangar. Alright, that's good. Yes, we know. We piloted the ship out of the hangar. Okay, so we're high enough up out of the atmosphere. We can now quantum travel to reach Bungee Point. And as you can see, actually, over there, as I decrease my speed so I can actually maneuver, Bounty Point can be seen right in front of us, right there. That is an actual space station that we are going to be traveling to. At 193 kilometers, however, we're going to use Quantum Boost to get there a little bit faster. Well, not boost, but we're actually going to quantum travel. Boost isn't technically in yet, although this is what you would be using Boost for when we get it. With a holding of the B button, we are now there. You can see our jurisdiction changed to the UEE because we're in. We're not on the planet anymore. We're in space between planets. Yeah, see, we're too close now to quantum in, so we're gonna use our relatively fast straight linear travel to get there in a bit more of a reasonable time. Let's look at their journal here. No journal entry for, that's odd. It's odd that there's no journal entry for a spaceflight, because it can be pretty complicated. Basic space flight can be easy, but there's a whole bunch of other things you can do to actually really become an ace pilot, so lots of fun. So let's see here. Let's contact ATC, because it looks like this is a weird thing where it's telling us to contact ATC. Like, it's telling us to land right there, but there's nowhere to land. Let's take off cruise control and see if it wants us to land at a very specific hangar. So if you want to land at a specific hangar, the trick is to get as close to the hangar you want to land at as possible. And once you're like right in front of it, basically like this, if you want to be really certain, go ahead and you okay, let's get the heck out of here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're going to do our Alt-N trick. Let's see if that does it.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Landing gear raised.
I'm wondering if it gave us an actual... Aha! So it actually did give us a landing point.
Landing gear.
I'll have to make a note of that bug. That it told us to land at a spot that we weren't supposed to. And it actually gave us another landing spot in the meantime. So, this is what we want. Right here. Okay. So it's telling us to land at Bounty Point, and we are going to, but we're going to land in this hangar because this is what they told us to land in. If you land in a spot that you have no clearance to land, bad things happen, and again, sticky key. There we
Landing complete.
hard Navy landing, but that's what it is. And the objective did complete, so we did what we needed to do. Which is really, in the end, all that matters. Powering off, because we don't want to leave the ship. So, this is an interesting bit. Storing the ship. The game will automatically store your ship for you. So, if you're not quick enough or you forget, it's not the end of the world. The game will just yell at you and tell you, hey, we're gonna put your ship away if you don't get to it soon. Hey, we're gonna put your ship away if you don't get to it soon. And if you're just stopping by real quick to like refuel and rearmor, you don't have to store your ship. You can just land on the pad, get it repaired, run out, get some food and water, and then run back in. But if you're staying like around this area to like do shopping for gear and items, and you're parking your ship for the night before logging off at the station, definitely park it cleans up the server, gives people more room to actually do their job when they also land there. So
To the ASOP
it's just a nice thing to do.
vehicle system.
Express lane.
And here we go. We're going to store it.
Please
There we
visit
are.
us
We're at
again.
Bonji Point.
Bye. Welcome. Welcome ASOP to the retrieval system.
Complete our tutorial of our first flight. And, ooh! 15,000 Alpha UEC. That's a lot of money. You can get a lot of... You can basically outload yourself to the T with FPS gear with that. So, and there we go. So that's it. So that looks like our tutorial is done. Let's see if we have access to all of our ships.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Perfect.
Please visit
And I want to check something.
Bye.
We also have access
Welcome. Welcome.
to
Welcome to the ASOP.
all of our gear, weapon and gear.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Visit us again. Goodbye.
Huh, interesting. So I didn't play with, that was just my commentary on it. I didn't actually hear if there was any audio, but something I did notice that was interesting was at no point in this tutorial did it tell us to bring our helmet. So that's actually a relatively interesting point. Everyone else has their helmet, so I wonder if when they, because I actually did play with audio off, so I'm wondering if there was an audio file that was playing during that tutorial telling me to actually do certain things, like remember to bring my helmet. It's not the end of the world, though, because we can go to the shops here and actually get one. Because normally when I do equip my character, I was just trying to buzz through the tutorial and make sure all the mission objectives worked. I wasn't even really listening for like audio cues or anything like that. Normally when I do that, I just have my helmet on already, and I just think, like, okay, like, I gotta make sure I got my helmet on, gotta make sure I got all my gear on. This was more of a, hey, we're just gonna run in here and make sure it works. Make sure all the triggers work and all that stuff, so. Whoops. That's okay, because this is a ship weapons store, which is cool. Usually these stores have, for our purchasing pleasure, armor. Where that armor is at this location, I have no idea. Usually a store of the blue out, like a blue, it's not blue like this. This is like white and blue. It's like a sort of the blue sign out front, like blue lighting. Oh, they're playing the infamous Orzen commercial. That will instantly become an earworm. Admin office. Bar. No, this isn't it. It's blue lighting, but not the same. Not the right blue lighting.
Incredible dining to unmatched shopping. Crusader is calling. Stay at the whether you're just looking to spend the day cloud hopping with the storm.
Not there. Alright. And this is the food court. Now, obviously, they don't really usually have the armor store in the store, so not every single space station will have an armor store or a FPS gear store. Not every single station will have a ship weapons store. So it's just something that you'll just have to learn and understand and actually do things. Just learn which stations have and which stations don't, and always make sure before you leave your home planet that you have a helmet and a flight suit. It's not the end of the world because most stations, pretty much every single spacecraft has like a sealed cockpit. But if you actually want to go out and explore, it's kind of a bit of a point that you need to have that gear. That being said, I'm going to probably check the cargo deck. That's what I'll do. I'll check the cargo deck, grab a helmet, and then we're going to actually continue this adventure in another video where I'm going to actually go through and check out the mining equipment and improvements. Well, the mining improvements, rebalancing, testing what the new mining is like. I know that there's I know they added iron, which is something I've been wanting for a while. Makes the game a bit more realistic in that way. So, guess we're gonna call it here. This has been Locko S, signing out at Bonji Point. And in the next video, we're going to be covering the mining updates. See you all then.